There is a kind of emptiness that is difficult to explain to people who have never felt it. Not sadness, not anger, not even pain. Just nothing. Part 42 is about emotional numbness, that strange state where you feel disconnected from your own emotions. Life continues around you. People laugh, people argue, people celebrate, and you participate, you talk, you respond, you smile when appropriate, but internally everything feels distant, like you are watching life instead of living it. Many people describe this feeling as being empty, but emotional numbness is rarely emptiness. It is overload, your nervous system shutting down after carrying too much for too long. Because emotions require energy. Feeling joy requires openness. Feeling sadness requires vulnerability. Feeling love requires trust. And when your system has been overwhelmed repeatedly by stress, loss, conflict, disappointment, pressure, it adapts. It lowers the volume, not only on painful emotions, on all emotions. Part 42 goes deeper. At first, numbness can even feel like relief. If you've spent months or years feeling anxious, hurt, or overwhelmed, the sudden absence of intense emotion can feel peaceful. You finally feel calm. But over time, you realize something else is missing. Excitement disappears, curiosity fades, motivation weakens. Things that once brought joy no longer move you. You don't feel intense sadness anymore, but you also don't feel much happiness. You exist in a flat emotional landscape. Part 42 reveals something important. Emotional numbness is often a protective response. Your brain is trying to reduce pain by reducing emotional intensity altogether. It's like turning down the volume on a speaker that has been blasting for too long. This response is common in people who have experienced prolonged emotional stress. Not just trauma in the dramatic sense, but repeated emotional strain, constant pressure, chronic anxiety, long-term disappointment, unresolved grief. When the system cannot process all those emotions at once, it protects itself by shutting down. Part 42 uncovers another reason numbness develops: emotional suppression. Many people grow up learning that expressing emotions is unsafe. Maybe sadness was dismissed. Maybe anger was punished. Maybe vulnerability was mocked. Maybe you were told to be strong. So instead of expressing emotion, you learn to hide it. At first, suppression feels like control. You become composed, calm, reliable. But suppressed emotions do not disappear. They accumulate, and eventually the mind chooses the easiest solution. It stops accessing them entirely. Part 42 goes deeper still. Emotional numbness is also linked to exhaustion. When you spend years managing stress, solving problems, helping others, and holding everything together, your emotional system burns out. Not dramatically, quietly. You don't collapse. You simply stop feeling as much. It's similar to how muscles stop responding after extreme fatigue. Your emotional system becomes depleted, and the result is disconnection. Part 42 reveals another paradox. People who feel emotionally numb are often highly sensitive individuals. They once felt deeply, they cared intensely, they noticed everything. But when sensitivity meets prolonged stress, the system eventually overloads. And the brain protects itself the only way it knows how: by shutting down emotional access. Part 42 also touches something psychological. When you feel numb, you may begin questioning yourself. Why don't I feel anything? Why don't things excite me anymore? Why am I like this? These questions can create guilt. You might feel broken. You might feel like something inside you disappeared. But numbness does not mean something inside you died. It means something inside you is resting, recovering, because emotional systems cannot operate under constant strain forever. Part 42 moves toward understanding. Numbness does not last forever, but it does not disappear instantly either. Feeling returns gradually, Small moments first, a brief laugh, a sudden wave of nostalgia, a moment of curiosity. These small emotional sparks are signs that your system is slowly reopening. Part 42 uncovers something hopeful. Emotions return when safety returns, when your environment becomes calmer, when your nervous system stops scanning for constant threats, when your body begins to trust that it is no longer under attack. But rebuilding that sense of safety takes time. It often requires rest, space, support, and sometimes professional guidance. Part 42 reaches its emotional core. If you feel emotionally numb, it does not mean you have lost your ability to care. It means your system has been protecting you from too much feeling. Your mind created distance so you could survive. But survival mode is not meant to last forever. And slowly, gently, your emotional world can reopen. Part 42 ends with this. You are not empty. You are protecting yourself. You are not broken. You are overwhelmed. And the fact that you notice the numbness means something inside you still wants to feel again. Your emotions are not gone. They are waiting. Waiting for safety. Waiting for space. Waiting for the moment your system realizes that it no longer needs to shut down. And when that moment comes, feeling returns. Not all at once, but enough to remind you that you are still alive inside, and that life can be felt again.